In today's class, I am going to discuss some more detail about bioreceptor molecules, followed by the transduction mechanism. Okay, this particular slide will give you a quick reference of the intermediate results of bioreceptor output and the transducer output. So, let us recap the thing. As I already told you, there are two parts of biosensor. Basically, one is bioreceptor, another one transducer. The signal processing is actually an integrated part of transducer. That's why it was skipped in last class. But in today's class, in this particular slide, we are going to split biosensor into three different parts. Let us see this thing. The input to first part, that is bioreceptor, it is actually the sample which we want to perform measurement operation. You see different shapes are used for analyte on which the sample is going to stick, and different shapes are used to represent the sample. This is a circular shape, this is a rhombus shape, this is star kind of shape, this is a different star kind of shape. So, depending upon the shape of the molecule of the analyte, what we do is we design the immobilization system. As I already told you, the immobilization system can be a physical trap, or it can be a chemical trap, or it can be some different way of trapping. Okay, that I'm not going to again discuss further. You see, under this block, the thing which we are using are nothing but the bioreceptor molecules, which is playing the role of catalyst. That is, I already told you, we actually interested in converting the input sample into the intermediate of the transformed chemical factor, which we can easily measure. Okay, okay. You see, this can be enzyme, this can be antibody, this can be nucleic acid, this can be bacteria, this can be cell, this can be tissue, this can be organelle. Okay, so these are all artificially made bioreceptors. Okay, you see, the different outputs of the bioreceptor can be, it can make electroactive material that if you want to measure, we can use electrode. The output of bioreceptor can be a chemical change. If you want to measure that, we use pH meter. That can be done with the help of semiconducting pH electrode. It can be the change in temperature, that is heat. If you want to measure that, we can use thermistor. It can be change in the intensity of light, that can be measured with the help of photodetector. It can be change in the mass content, so that we can measure with the help of piezoelectric medium. These are all different types of transduction operation. So, the possible signal processing operation, as we all use in different types of sensor or transducer, are simply included in this block. We all know that amplifier is needed for signal processing, filters are needed for signal processing, ADC is needed for signal processing. Some more are mentioned over here, that is multiplexer, not really needed for biosensor. Linearizers. Linearizers means what happened? Sometimes what happens is the sample signal is coming not in the linear form. So what we will do is we add all the values and divide it by total number of sample. That is actually called as mean calculation. That is a part of linearizations. Compressors, meaning sometimes what happens is we have more data. In that case, we need to compress data. Okay, and that only we want to send on the display or transmit over a radio. You may get a question. Explain bioreceptor molecule, okay, with few examples. Already we know bioreceptor molecule is a block which can, sorry, is a catalyst with the help of which we can convert one form of chemical energy into another form. So what we will do is we will discuss the bioreceptor molecules available in human bodies. Okay, the first one, enzyme. We all know that enzyme have been the most widely used bioreceptor molecule. uh, uh, I'm not talking about this, but in human body, enzymes are used as a bioreceptor molecule. So let us see the same artificially made enzyme we can use in our biosensors. Okay, let us now discuss more about enzymes. It is actually three-dimensional structure. Okay, three-dimensional. Three-dimensional structure means having three axes. Enzyme is actually playing the role of catalyst for biochemical reaction occurring in the cell. Okay, so artificially we make some enzyme. That enzyme will be available inside our receptor. So that plays the role of catalyst operation in our biosensor. Okay, to maintain high enzyme activity, the temperature and pH value. This is actually a condition which the designer need to maintain. To maintain high enzyme activity, the temperature and pH of the environment has to be maintained at proper level. This is the condition which is necessary in order to make use of enzyme as one of the bioreceptor molecule. Yeah, the second one is antibody. Antibody also can be used in biosensor. Antibody uh, and protein receptors are started increasingly incorporated in biosensors. I think I cannot do much of the discussion about antibodies, enzymes, because it is not a part of the instrumentation teacher to discuss. You can discuss or learn this from a lot of videos are available on web, or if you can have access to some chemical engineer or a medicine student, or somebody related to that can give you more idea about this thing, the different types of bioreceptor molecules. Okay, what I can do is from the point of view of examination only, I can give you the content. The shape of antibody is usually Y. Okay, antibodies represent one of the major class of protein. Okay, so these days we are seeing the coronavirus. In order to fight with coronavirus, our body need to generate some antibodies of shape T, right? You know that T shape antibodies need to present in our body, which can fight with coronavirus. Okay, whatever it may be, antibodies is another example of bioreceptor molecule, and its shape is Y. Yeah, the another bioreceptor molecule is receptor protein. Sometimes what happens is there is a need to transform the information. There is a need to communicate the information from one cell to another cell. In that case, the one of the bioreceptor molecule present in our body play a major role. That is called as receptor protein. So this receptor protein also can be incorporated, or it is actually incorporated in our biosensors. Okay, these molecules are mostly bound to membrane. It is actually fixed to the membrane of the cell. So there are hormone receptor. Many types of receptor proteins are available. Few are listed over here: hormone receptor, taste receptor, olfactory receptor. Okay, they can be used for smelling. Photoreceptors. Olfactory are used for smelling, and hormones receptor is available, and taste receptor is used for taste, and then photoreceptors are available in our eyes. So whatever. So receptor protein are responsible for, you just see this figure, opening and closing of membrane channel for transport of specific metabolites. Okay, so this particular bioreceptor molecule is actually playing the role of, it's like a relay, or it's like a gate, okay, which gets open or closed when information need to move from one cell to another cell. Yeah. Now I am moving to next part of discussion, that is nothing but transducers. What are the different transducers basically used in our biosensors? Okay. So, or in other words, the title of this discussion is what are the different transduction mechanism available for biosensors. Basically, it is listed in the text that there are three types of transducer which are used in biosensor. First one is amperometer based on H2O2 or oxygen measurement. Second one, potentiometry based on pH measurement. The third one, photometry utilizing optical fibers. I repeat, majority of biosensors make use of either of these transduction operation. First one is amperometer based on peroxide or oxygen measurement. Second one is potentiometry based on pH or Pelon measurement. Okay, H plus ion or OH minus ion measurement. Photometry utilizing optical measurements. Now I am discussing each little detail. The first one, amperometer. Sometimes you may get a question, why amperometer based transducer are so called. Okay, the reason is when the electrical excitation is given to the electrode, okay, then what happens is the quantity, the parameter H2O2 or oxygen get reduced at the electrode, and then the result of this is generation of electrical current. So the thing which happen in case of amperometer is, if suppose the quantity containing H2O2 or oxygen is under measurement, then because of the electrical excitation, equivalent current is getting generated due to their reduction from the specific sample. Hence, it is called as amperometer. Suppose this is the sample. Sorry, this is the place at which the sample is available. If suppose we give electrical excitation, then what happens is, if suppose H2O2 or oxygen content is available in this sample, they get reduced and produce equivalent current. That current we measure with the help of meter. Is it clear to everybody? When a suitable voltage is impressed on one of the electrode, the specific target is reduced and generate equivalent electrical current. Hence it is called as amperometer. One is potentiometer based on pH. Let us recall the shape of a potentiometer. We all know that potentiometer look like this. Okay, potentiometer look like this. It is having an arm. Okay, one arm of the potentiometer is movable. This is movable arm, and the other arm is actually fixed. Yes, let us keep this thing in mind. In case of pH measurement, what happens is a glass membrane or some other membrane electrode is used for measuring membrane potential. Membrane potential. The membrane is something like a resistor across which we are measuring the potential. That is the reason why it is called as a potentiometry type of setup. You see, in potentiometer, based on pH, a glass membrane electrode is used for measuring the membrane potential. The membrane potential is measured. Okay, so which is resulting from the difference in the concentration of H plus ion or OH minus across the membrane. Across the membrane, on one side, H plus ion is generated, on another side, OH minus ion is generated. So the difference of this give rise to a value of potential that is equivalent to pH. You all know that the scale of pH is this thing. Okay, the scale of pH is if it is 7, it is neutral. So if it is 14 and this is going towards 0, going towards 0. So this is acidic and this is basic. You all know these things. So actually what is happening is, suppose we have the membrane like this. So this site OH plus ion is present here. This side is H plus is available over here. OH minus is available over here. So the difference in the concentration give rise to some value of potential. So this is actually measured with the help of some voltmeter. So based upon the value of voltmeter, what we do is we convert this voltage value into equivalent number. Okay, accordingly we decide whether the measured value of chemical is acidic or basic. In case of photometry, the stimulation used is light. The stimulation used is light. So the light from an indicator molecule is the measured signal. In this method, one of the reactants or the product of the biorecognition reaction result in change in color. That is called as colorimetric setup. Fluorescent in a khushbu, luminescent, that changes due to the measured quantity, and that can be measured with the help of photodetector. So this setup many times I told you. So what happens is the quantity under measurement is excited with a light source. So some of the light gets absorbed, some gets reflected. So if suppose we are using a transducer, so that transducer based upon the type of this particular quantity, so they change the colors. If you are using colorimetric setup, then that colors is change in color is used as the parameter of measurement. If we use the absorption of light in these with the help of photodetector, the output of this can be used to know what exactly the quantity is available in this particular sample. Okay, either it can be done with a change in color or it can be done with the absorption of light mechanism. So that's the reason it is called as photometry setup. In this case, light from indicator molecule is the measured signal. Yeah, this is indicated molecule. Light from this as a result of excitation is the measured signal. In this method, one of the reactant or the product of biorecognition reaction results in colorimetric or fluorescent or luminescent changes that are measured with the help of photodetector. Yeah. These are some other transducer which we can use in our biosensors. One belonging to piezoelectric quantity, with the help of which we can measure change in mass. Example is microbalance based sensors, micro cantilever based sensors, or saw device based sensors. The category can be conductive. In this case, the resistivity or the conductivity of the measured property gets changes that we can measure with the help of ion concentration. The category can be change in capacitance, that we can measure the quantity under measurement make the change in dielectric constant. Okay, so the example is antibody sensors. Thermometric, the quantity will get change is temperature or the heat flux. The example of biosensor under this category is enzyme thermistor or microcalorimeter. So that's all from unit 2.